What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, CamATL, and welcome back to another NBA High Five video with your boy. Drop a like down below, comment anything in the comment section, enter your name into the $50 giveaway. I'm going to go back to doing every single week on this channel. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you guys for joining me, as always, on this beautiful, what day of the week is it? Tuesday morning. I lose my days of the week sometimes. Welcome to this beautiful Tuesday morning high five video. You guys know me. I like to get in, get out, be real slick with it. GreenlightDFS.com, join the squad. As I mentioned in yesterday's video, I literally talked about like the most important thing about Greenlight and what makes us so valuable is continuing to update and keep the optimals optimal throughout the entire night. And we did exactly that once again last night. Okay, 10 minutes to spare. We ended up getting DeJounte Murray in with no Trae Young, and it ended up boosting us up to having a fantastic night in DFS. The update was super clutch and beautiful. And once again, a late night update. A late night update ended up being vital for us. So it was a fantastic update once again, and once again, it just shows that value of what Greenlight does bring to the table and keeping things optimal. You know what I mean? It's one of the best versions of content that you can get in DFS is to know what somebody's optimal version is. That's been playing for so long and studies the slate all day. It's very good content to have at your hip for sure. Whether you keep it the same or whether you make your own adjustments to make it your own, I mean, whatever. It's great value. So anyway. The player prop tool also had a fantastic night. So it was an all around great night at Greenlight. Super proud of what we accomplished last night. And let's just have a huge week, man. It was a great start to the week. Let's just finish it out, baby. All right, so first and foremost, I'm not going to keep up too much of y'all's time. Let's go to small forward and let's talk about one of the guys. Now, first things first that I've mentioned on this, that I've noticed on this slate. So you got Serge Ibaka and you've got Bobby Portis out here, which ends up giving you some Milwaukee big value. Like a Pat Connaughton. Pat Connaughton is an interesting value-ish play for me at 4-5. I think he's a solid option. He's one of my favorite cheaper guys on this slate today. We don't have a lot. It's a 5-game slate, right? We've got Giannis as the big dog on the slate, and then we've got some other options that are fantastic options. The problem here is that we have Giannis against Charlotte, which is a beautiful spot, but we don't have a ton of value. And so I'm going to break down the value that we do have, like in that 3K range to make Giannis work. And then I'm going to talk about certain ideas that I have for this slate. But so far, there's a couple 3K-ish value guys, but it's not like they're like starting amazing, beautiful value plays. They're guys that are, have risk involved to them and aren't safe in any way. You know what I mean? But they're interesting. But Pat Connaughton's the first guy that I want to put into the high five. I really like him with no Bobby Portis. That's going to get elevated usage there for him. One guy that I definitely like is Julius Randle. So if you decide to not play the top dog version, and the only reason I'm not putting Giannis in the high five right now, because on 5-game slates, a lot of times, like for Giannis and Jokic and these guys, like when they're on slates that are small like this, especially in good matchup positions, you just want to lock them in and like find the value where you can. The problem is the value's not great. I'm going to mention a few that make things work a little bit for Giannis and that where you can consider it. But Julius Randle's interesting to me because I think Julius Randle can put Giannis type performance numbers up tonight. I think he can drop that 50 plus pretty easily here, and he's only 10-1. He's 2,000 less. Okay, so Julius Randle's the guy that I'm going to put in the high five. Really like this spot for him against the Lakers. We know he likes to show up against the Lakers. Julius Randle's in a fantastic spot, and I really like him. The Knicks in general, I really like today. I love Jalen Brunson as well. I really like getting involved on some Knicks today because they feel really safe to me, but they also have huge upside possibilities here in this matchup against the Lakers, especially if LeBron and AD are in fact back and this game ends up being a competitive, close matchup. Now, Jalen Brunson, under the 8K range. Dude has been absolutely balling as of late. He has been fantastic, and it's a great matchup against the Lakers. So another guy that I really like on this Knicks offense. I'm going to talk about a value play that I'm putting in the high five, but I'm going to put him in at the end, okay? Next guy that I want to talk about is Paul George. So it's kind of that upper range-ish, but not the elite level guys that I like sneakily getting involved in on this slate and that can make you different on this slate because we don't have the amazing lock-it-in value. making versions where you're not playing a Jokic or a Giannis are interesting ways to go because of the way that this slate's looking with the value. Like, if people are forcing in that 3K value, right, and these 3K guys completely bust, I'm talking getting like single digit scores, and the Julius Randles of the world, the Paul Georges of the world go out and drop 50 pluses, you're going to wish you played this other route. Okay, so I just want to mention that. But with that being said, one of the values that I have interest in and I can see hitting value tonight is Mark Williams. So there's a couple guys, right? There's three guys you could consider. None of them feel like, oh my God, I feel so great and happy about this. But you have Mark Williams against Milwaukee. Reasoning here is because Milwaukee is a big team. Okay, I talked about in the NBA Prize Picks video because we have one of these Charlotte players on there, and I talked about how the opportunity will be there for the Charlotte Bigs because they're going to be needed to be on the floor heavily due to Milwaukee being a big team. So they're going to have to play big to match up. So regardless of how tough the matchup might seem, the opportunity is there, and a lot of times these guys are professionals. They can fall into value the more minutes they get, obviously. We all know that time is key. Time on the floor is key. You know, the more minutes these guys are going to get, the more opportunity they're going to get to hit, and you just take those chances on these guys. Mark Williams is a guy that he's not going to blow you away with the amount of minutes he's going to get. He's going to get 17 to 20 minute range probably. Okay? But the opportunity is there for him to shine here at only 3-4, especially if, like, imagine if a Mason Plumlee goes out and gets in foul trouble. Mark Williams is going to get mid-20s minutes. You know what I'm saying? So it's an interesting, sneaky way to do this, okay? But like I said, as you can see, I'm on the Greenlight Optimizer at Greenlight DFS. As you can see so far with my projections, I have Mark Williams, Hartenstein, and Rubio as the values on this slate. Not one of those sound great, okay? Mark Williams is number one. Hartenstein comes in at number two in the great matchup against the Lakers, and then Ricky Rubio. Like, the value on this slate is not fantastic, and it's really, 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 it really early on makes you feel like, okay, this might be one of those slates where it's 5 games, right? And Giannis is a guy that could absolutely break the slate. So the decision on to Giannis or not to Giannis is a big decision tonight. So far, with the lack of value, it's hard to Giannis. Okay, I'm just going to be real with you. If I have to choose between Giannis and Vooch, it would be Giannis. Okay, so at the end of the day, it's a tough decision. It's one that could definitely make or break you, depending on how this slate ends up going. If we get fantastic 3K value, let's say some news comes out, right? And we get 3K value that's starting. We get like starting 3K value or low 4K starting value outside of like a Pat Connaughton. Then you definitely can start looking at ways to get Giannis in. But if we don't, and we continue to have the value of Mark Williams, Hartenstein, and Rubio as the best 3K values, the most optimal direction to go in a situation like that would be to balance out and try to get as many of these like upper 40s, 50 type fantasy point performances out of these other guys underneath the Giannis's and Jokic's. All right, so that's kind of just where my head's at right now. I did put Mark Williams in the core because I wanted to make sure y'all are aware that we do have some value options. Not the most beautiful, but I do have him projected over 6x at 3-4. So he's not like starting amazing value, but if you want to take a shot on somebody and you're telling yourself, look, it's a small slate, I don't want to be without Giannis, this is definitely a guy that you can go with to do that. All right. So that's it. We got Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle for the Knicks. I love the Knicks today against the Lakers. They're in a fantastic position. Both of these guys could drop 50s pretty easily in this game and get you over 100 points with just those two. Paul George has been on an absolute tear, and he's still under 9K. I feel really good about that 45 ranges for him, at least 5X floor. Pat Connaughton, amazing value. No Bobby Portis, no Serge Ibaka. Extra forward minutes out there for Pat Connaughton. Connaughton has some big games in him, and this game could definitely be a big one here against Charlotte. Great matchup. And then Mark Williams as one of the very, very limited value options that we have on this slate as of right now. Remember, I'm doing this video at 10 a.m. Central Time. Okay, so it's very early. So any information that has come out, if it's noon and we have amazing value that popped, I'm not knowing about it right now at this moment. So all I can go off of is what's available to me right now to get y'all started. And Mark Williams seems like the best value on the slate. And when you have Mark Williams as the best value on the slate, it makes you wonder if you're going to Giannis or you're not going to Giannis. Y'all have a great night. Good luck, man. I hope you choose wisely. I will be studying this slate as the day goes on, obviously. GreenlightDFS.com to join the squad and get involved in our optimal, as well as have involvement in our optimizer so you can see who I'm on all day. I'll be updating my projections as the day goes on. Get access to the NBA player prop tool. You can refresh that thing throughout the day and grab these guys as they pop heavily on the tool when news comes out. All that good stuff, man. So y'all have an amazing Tuesday. And let's sweep this week, baby. Peace.